Professor Brain Brown's research shows that vulnerability fosters good emotional and mental health. It is a sign of courage. We become more resilient and brave when we embrace who we truly are and what we are feeling. The Vulnerable Scientist podcast is a space for scientists to tell their honest and authentic stories. I am your host, Sarah Nyakeri, who happens to be a scientist, informal science communicator, and I help scientists create personal websites. If you want to support this show, go to www.patreon.com/thevulnerable-scientist. You can also follow this podcast on all social media platforms at TV Scientist Pod. Hi again, welcome to another part of the Afrah series, Dr. Afrah series, where she talks about her journey and she becomes vulnerable on this show. And on this particular part, she discusses more about her career in bioinformatics and also the work-life balance that comes with it. So, Afrah.
Yeah.
Right. Did I?
Yes. Afrah.
Okay. So, what are the? I know we've mentioned a bit of the highs and lows, maybe a bit here and there of what you've experienced throughout your journey. But before we go to that, before we go to you telling us more about that, maybe you could tell someone who doesn't know what bioinformatics is, just what you, like for you, what your career, what you do, how do you apply your skills, how are they helpful for someone who's not in science, such like things. Just give a brief of what you're currently doing or what you did before, or maybe, give explanations of your previous research or your current research if you want to, and just enlighten us. Language.
I hear you completely. Okay. So with bioinformatics, it's more about leveraging the power of, especially the current, the computing power. Now we have, as we're witnessing the fourth industrial revolution, and this revolution entails advances in many, like computing power and machine learning, and why not combine it with biology, so we can use this power or resources that we have to address biological problems or knowledge gap in biology. So in that way, you need to develop your skills, a little bit of programming skills and statistical skills as well, so you can apply them to address these problems. Either for genomics, especially if you want, I'm sure people know about sequencing of the genomes. You identify variants, mutations, and link them to certain traits, diseases. That's one part of it. So it's more of analysis of the genomes. And I really hope that one day we achieve that level where we can have more resources to analyze more personal genomes, or which I can call the personalized medicine. So we can actually tailor a drug or a treatment or a lifestyle or a diet just for you based on your genes, right? And we can do that. We have the resources. Maybe we just need to build the skills, train people on those tools and software. So that's the genomic part of it. The other part, which is started only growing significantly after COVID, which the 3D structure or the structure of bioinformatics, because people were on the hunt for a drug or a vaccine. So using those computers, or they call it computer-aided drug discovery, it accelerates the process of discovering a new drug. So you simulate biological events using algorithms or computer algorithms that simulate these events. You introduce a drug, you see the effects of this drug on the 3D structure of the enzyme. Sometimes you can introduce mutation into the 3D structure and see how it binds to the drug. And in that way, you can actually identify or accelerate the process of identifying potential drugs and also drug targets. So that's one part of it. But recently, look, I believe that to be an outstanding scientist, you must have like skills, combined skills. Don't be focused on one area. You must be able to expand, especially if you're a bioinformatician. You must combine your skills with wet lab skills. And that's what I've realized recently. After completing my PhD, I felt like I've developed and gained enough skills in bioinformatics and computational biology, letting me actually explore wet lab. And I was passionate about working in a COVID project, and I think I got very lucky. And as I said earlier, what I need is an opportunity. And I was given this opportunity by someone who believed in me, or saw something, because sometimes you ask yourself, why did they choose me? I'm a computer scientist, I mean, like a bioinformatician. Why would they choose me to work in the wet lab? No, you see. But they see the way you conduct your research, the way you talk about your research, they can see the passion. And sometimes they just want to give you that opportunity to shine. And I would like you to remind me later about supervision, supervisors actually. Supervision, like a supervisor at the PhD level or master's level. Because, yeah. So the current supervisor had given me an opportunity to work in a COVID project, like a cutting edge research, and I felt like I'm being transformed, you know. And what we do now, it's more of we deal with the active virus now. We infect human cells, like the tissue culture, cell cultures. We infect those cells with the live virus. We do titration assays, neutralization assays to see how the humans actually neutralize these virus or the variant, the Omicron or the Delta. And yeah, we deal with samples that are positive, and we do these assays. And then I'm still doing the assay still, not at the analysis stage, but I'm very excited about the work I do now.
How is it? I'm excited to hear that. That how is it moving from dry lab to wet lab, and especially cell culture?
I used to have sleepless nights, When I first arrived here, I was like, what did I get myself into? Do you think I'm able? I was so scared. Even when you hold the pipette, as a computer scientist, you hold your keyboard and the bioinformatician, your keyboard is your area. You just start typing and typing without even realizing that you are doing what you're doing. But now, once you are giving that pipette, you have to hold it in that way. Though I did biotechnology, I know how to hold it, but I felt a bit overwhelmed because I was out of practice, And also, we work in the biosafety lab level 3, so you have to wear the first time I entered that room, I was like I know this doesn't sound professional, but the amount of happiness and excitement, and to be wearing that suit and with the pipe and the air pumping in, and it was thrilling. Like, I enjoyed it so much. I was like, I'm finally doing something. Like, and yeah. And 2 gloves.
With your hands,
yeah.
and
the 2 gloves, and you must tape it, and you cover your shoes as well. It was an experience, and I'm still yet to enter that lab many times and work independently. So maybe the first time I was being naive and excited and happy and wanted to take photos. I know, I'm still a human attendant, and send it to my mom, and my mom would scream like, danger. And then after that, I have to help myself and maybe conduct the research independently, because I'm still under the training period. And that's what I said about supervision or supervisors. My current supervisor gave me an opportunity, to dive into a new field. He knew that I don't have the skills, but he knew if I had the opportunity, I will maximize it. I will use it, And some supervisors, they just look for publications, You don't have the skills. No, I don't have time to waste. I need to publish. They don't think of capacity building. They don't see what's in you as a researcher or a scientist. And we kind of reach like a bottleneck problem when you reach the top, but you're not growing any further because the big guys are not giving us that opportunity to thrive. They just want the grants, the publication, but what about capacity building, you know? So for that, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Though sometimes I touch on I don't want to forget my coding skills, so sometimes I just sneak out of the lab quickly and retouch on my coding skills.
I've noted like your life has been, weaved in a beautiful way. Like you were good in chemistry, then you did something that was like, let's see how you thrive for 1 year, but it was something like the computer thing has helped you grow into the bioinformatics world, and how the biotechnology, as much as you're looking for something that is biology and computer, then you got this biotechnology. And as much as it didn't look like it was helping you, I wish you could have gotten the bioinformatics. But now this biotechnology background is now helping you now. It's so weaved and nicely weaved in together. It's just amazing. There's something you mentioned about that 1 year gap. What was making it difficult for you to get an opportunity in Saudi? As now you have your degree.
I tell you, thank you very much for asking.
What was happening?
Actually, that year it kind of made me realize and open my eyes. First of all, in order to get an opportunity, you need networks. You need to network. You need to know someone who knows someone. That's the ideal way of it to work. People tend to not give others an opportunity or a chance, unless they come from someone they know. Like, I know you need someone decent, I understand, but don't use that to cast away people with good potential. Because I applied. Actually, it's not just Saudi, everywhere, including South Africa, where I received my tertiary education as well. Bursaries. They said no, reject. And then the rejection is not based on scientific merits or marks. No, rejection is because you don't belong here. So all my life, I grew up feeling like I don't belong anywhere. Because even in Sudan, the country doesn't appreciate science yet. It's developing still. So they're struggling even to secure health infrastructure and food. So what is science, let it be for a woman, where they already believe that she belongs to her house, her husband. So we way far, yes. So even if I go to them and say I would like a bursary, they would like, no, you're a woman. Wow, a woman. Actually, some of them said to me, go marry someone and that person will can take care of your fees. Can you believe that? So it's literally swimming against the current. If you're a woman, it's even worse. So I was saying the reason I didn't get it because I don't belong. I had the skills, I had the marks, but I don't belong. If you read an application, for example, you must be a citizen of this. You meet all the criteria except being a citizen of that. And I was speaking to someone, and they were talking about democracy in science. Like, I know you want to build your scientists or from your country or help, but at the same time give like opportunity. I don't want to name yes, but I know these names, they give opportunities like to people who do not even have the skills. Just because you belong. You're this citizen, let's give you. But at the very same time, don't forget about the others who met the criteria, if not even outperformed, and also give them that chance. So I don't know how to fix this, but we really need to sit down and find a way out of it. Because I felt like I was mistreated for my hard work and it was not paid off. And this is where the Organization for Women in Science came to my rescue, as if they knew the struggle that I was going through. They said, you're an African woman and you're from a developing country. We know what you're going through. So, and even their funding, when I got here, no, but things happen for a reason. when I got here, that funding is, I would say, it's like a 5 stars funding. I lived very comfortably. I knew others who got the bursaries that I was rejected. The allowance is minimal. The fees are not paid on time. They had problems, Mine used to come on time as if it's like they made sure I don't struggle, Fees, I was one of the first students who received their payment, fees cleared in the beginning. So, and from there, I started to believe in myself. Like, look, what I needed was just an opportunity. But that whatever rejection I received, it does not reflect on my abilities or anything. You just need to be given. Yeah. And to mention,
thanks for sharing that.
The PhD, actually, I didn't just complete it. I managed to make publications out of my work, and I finished within the required time, no delay. I presented in international conferences, like, for example, it was an opportunity for the very first time to go to Europe, actually, to Germany for the ISC supercomputing conference, such a huge event. It gave me a good exposure. Like, I couldn't believe that I belong to these scientists. How could I even get there, Who was going to give me this opportunity, When I get there, and you look around, they were promoting diversity as well there. There's the women in high performance computing. They were promoting, because in those conferences, it's male dominated. So women in tech or STEM or high performance computing, they're not well represented. So they were doing a good job actually there, and that's how we thrive. You just connect and find the right people who just give you that opportunity to grow. Yeah. So.
So let's go to the highs and lows.
Okay, let's start with the lows.
Start with the lows or the highs.
Yeah.
Okay.
The lows of what, actually? Okay. Yeah.
So tell us. So tell us about the lows that you've experienced, or the challenges, or whatever that was not so good for you, or you didn't like it, either directly linked to your career or indirectly linked to your career, that affected your career in one way or another.
You mean like how my profession had some negatives in my personal life? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, right. The lows is sometimes it's hard to find balance. It's like, if you do not do this well, if you do not overwork yourself, if you do not, like, I reach a point where if I stay the weekend, let's just stay relaxed on the weekend, I feel guilty. Like, no, you're supposed to be working. Yes, I've reached that point, especially with PhD. If your supervisor constantly telling you must do this, you must do that, the supervision is not just for academic work, it should be also on other levels, But in any way, some of them, they just academically supervise you. And they don't care if you sleep, you don't sleep, you eat, you don't eat, as long as you deliver. You see? Right, so I reached a point where I used to go to the office even weekends. But as I said, I worked hard, I played hard. Like, sometimes if it's Saturday and I work till 5 o'clock, I take a pair of clothes, I change there, and then I hit the club. After, like, if it's a Saturday and I'm invited to a party or a bride, an event, sometimes I really go Saturday and work hard, like till 5 o'clock, and then I change there. Not like really exactly, and then from there I go out,
party, and
then I'll be the whole day out working and going out. So the problem is finding the balance and be fine with it, not to beat yourself up for taking the weekends off, Like, so it's very hard to find a balance. And sometimes I admire women who have, like children. Yes, and they are also in science. And how is I exactly right?
How do they
And
manage?
maybe when the kids are there, you have no other choice but to manage. And maybe we don't need to think about it. It will happen naturally. But maybe because we don't have those, we just tend to overwork because we don't have. There's nothing to stop you or tell you, no, mommy, I'm hungry now. You need to stop. You've been working for 6 hours, 7, 8. We don't have that reminder. So finding balance is important. And I'm in this process because now here I'm in a big city. There's like nice mountains and hills. I started hiking actually. Yes, it cleared my mind. It was beautiful. However, the person who introduced me, he's a heavy hiker. So he took us for almost 2.5 kilometers or 3, and it was not just a straight way. We went through mountains up and down, cutting trees to make paths. So he threw us deep, and the day after I was in pain for 2 or 3 days. However, it was a beautiful experience. So in order to find that balance, maybe I should fill myself with good habits, like hiking, swimming, or running. I also have funny habits that you might like, actually, something I want to do. I always wanted to model, but I've never like tried it out or looked for agencies and stuff. But I do want to do some modeling, and yeah, there is a side of me that is not nerdy or goofy because I'm becoming, as I said, balanced. I'm becoming so goofy and nerdy. I'm forgetting myself. I love makeup. I love dancing actually. I was thinking of signing up for a dance class, so I can go every weekend and practice and do some dance. Any kind of dance, but to be specific, I might say it, but you might think I'm crazy. Okay, right. The pole dancing. When you hold into the pole, yeah. I'm quite flexible, and I feel like I could maximize on this, and not the artistic part of it, not the one that you just do to do this. Like, it's not like I'm judging, but the artistic one, yeah. So I want to do that for sure, and I feel like I'll do well. Right? I just need to find it, and there are not many of them, those clubs. Because if they don't see it as a hobby, they see it as a way of living. You have to practice this way so you can go and do this job and get paid for it, but it's not as a hobby. However, like to work in a you were saying? No, okay. So it's the pole dancing and modeling and makeup, and the last thing, I want to be a bartender for some reason. I know. I just love the setup in a very nice, like dark reddish bar. It's just me serving the people. I'm a very social human being, and I love that. I love the settings. I don't know. Yes, and not just
interacting with people. Wait.
Yes, and feel like I'm the one
just behind the counter thing,
like giving the drinks and passing and what you need and serving. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and that's
talking, having a chat,
and because sometimes you go to the bar and it's not the same as being behind the bar, and serving people. I would love to do it. So let me see. These are the side hobbies. I still. I'll keep you updated. I'm still like recovering because, as I said, I shifted into the very bad end where I work constantly. I don't pay attention to living. I feel even the guilt, feeling guilty for not working for an hour. I'm still overcoming this, especially that work environment is important. You know? When I got here, I saw that people have hobbies. People come happy. They come dressed for work. You know, there was some point I almost like I would go to work with my pajamas. I'm kidding, not literally. But you just leave, you know? Yes. But here you can see that people just went to the gym and arrived at work. So work environment kind of motivates you to explore more on your hobbies. I also got myself a small guitar. I'm practicing, but I don't know. Yeah. So.
Hey.
Yes, this year it's completely different. And now it's wet lab, so I don't know if it's the wet lab. But I don't know me.
You're finding yourself too, learning yourself, finding the things that you love.
I believe so.
It must be an exciting journey. So just to comment on that work, is it balance? I don't know how. I'm in a place where I'm not sure I want to call it work-life balance. I don't know what to call it anymore. But having that, because for me, when I got my placement to do my master's, I was like, it's something that I was looking for a long time, and especially in Ilri, where I am right now, and I was so excited, and I didn't know about the stipend that people were being given, and I didn't think so much about it. I just wanted the opportunity. When I came to realize how much, for me, I thought, wow, that's a lot of money for just being a student, and I felt like, oh, I need to, how would you call it? I need to compensate for that. I need to show that I'm worth that money, or I'm worth that time. Or then it came to where now you're knowing how much your project pays for you to be in the lab in one single day. And then it was like, I have limited time here. My things sometimes don't work, and I need to, maximize every single time. So I find myself, that made me even move closer to work. That made me not easily go home. Like I'll just maybe I was just going to do one thing in the lab, then I'll find myself doing 100 things in the lab, and I find myself it's late. I've not eaten. I have forgotten that some people are supposed to eat. I have nothing to go back home to because I live alone. What's the fun of going home? I mean, so let me just, because I love my work. I love science. And you like, this is exciting, and you just keep on going and keep on going. Then you get to a point when you get burnout, and you don't even realize that you're getting a burnout because it becomes normal. And so that made me try to find something that because anyway, I'm not dating, I'm not I don't have kids, I'm not close to family. Like I'm not a person who constantly communicates to people. I don't even communicate constantly to my best friend. So wow, it's nice to hear that. So you find yourself that you're not, you don't have anything that you're going home to. So you find myself staying in the lab or staying in the office for a very long time, just focusing on what you're doing. And when you get the burnout, you don't realize it. So I'm also in that space where you're saying you're also trying to find yourself and know what other things that people do. As much as my work environment, you find that there's a gym inside the place. Like you can see people going to the gym, people going to swimming, people going to the bar inside the institution still. That is there, like it's a thing. People going to take tea, people going, like there are people who have actual hobbies and cliques, and they're actually having fun with their lives. But me, I'm just existing. And for me it's different because I had started hiking before I started my placement, and I didn't even have time to do that, to hike anymore. I find myself, like I planned for a hike, then I found myself in the lab, Yes, exactly. I cancel like all the time. So this year it's been different for me. I'm trying to repurpose. Like this month, I have paid for a
Okay,
subscription
forced it.
for a whole
You're
month, so that
enforcing it, okay?
if I don't go, so that
Okay.
if I don't go, I feel the pain of losing the money. And also, I've planned that this podcast also has come in handy because I started it last year December, so it has really helped me find
Other
something
than
else
work.
to go home for or to go home to apart other than work. Also, I paid for Netflix
Okay.
for the first time in my life, just to feel the pinch of not watching
Mm-hmm.
movies because I've paid for it. I like intentionally going home to find something to watch at least once every single day. And I also recently went out for there's a lady who came to South Africa from our workplace for her PhD. And when they said that they were later on after the farewell party,
Okay.
that they were going to a club. I don't club, by the way.
No?
But when they
Oh.
said that they're going for a club, I was like, sure, take me wherever you guys are going. I don't even know which club we went. We went to two clubs, and I cannot tell you the names. But I was just
Thank
existing.
you.
I was like, let me just let go and do something that is out of, me and my restrictions and
Out of
all
your
these
comfort
things.
zone.
Just out of
Yeah.
element and just find. Yes, and find something that is out of
How was it?
disconnect for a while out of the science, so that when I come back, I'm more energized. I know, it's just crazy.
Yeah, of
It
course.
was interesting.
Yeah.
It's just different. It is different for
You
me.
see? Yeah, maybe.
Will I do it again?
That's the
Maybe.
feeling.
Maybe. Yeah, but before that, I was like,
Yeah.
I will never, because I hate noise. First of all, I hate noise, and I'm not a fan of alcoholic drinks. But just being in that environment, watching people doing their stuff, you doing a drink that you prefer that is not probably alcoholic, but just being in that happy.
Exactly. They bring you that energy
so
that you are
high.
missing.
This is
Yeah. I'm glad that you're also trying and finding yourself. Because you like to feel in control. That's why we tend to run to our work. This is where we feel safe, we feel in control. The moment you go socializing or doing something, you're no longer in control. And now you feel like, no, I don't like this. However, you'll find, yeah. And then if you do not take risk, someone told me, you are bound to fail. When I received my current post here, it's a wet lab, it's completely different city. I almost didn't want to come. I was scared. Because now I'm leaving my comfort zone. I'm no longer gonna do the things I do. What is this madness, And I used to be very anxious, like, what am I gonna do? Maybe I shouldn't just go, I should just disappear, I was so scared. And then someone said to me, listen, if you do not take risk, you're bound to fail. Do take risk. You must feel that fear. Like, you can't be constantly on that dim, low mode, you must be excited. If it doesn't give you butterflies, that kind of feeling, if you don't experience it, you're not living. So I took the advice. I took risk. I packed. I left my flat, goodbye to friends in 2 days or so, and gone.
By the way, talking of, you mentioned before we started this podcast, there were some birds that passed.
The what?
I don't know what you named those birds. What were they?
Oh, the hadidas. The
Birds.
hadidas. The one that goes like, ah! What do you call them?
How do we call them?
Oh.
Mwewe in Swahili.
Yeah, it's hadida, the scientific name.
Do you know them in English?
Yeah, I think I had a zoologist.
English.
I
didn't know.
I think she said hadidas. She was so excited to see them. Hadidas. And I was like, I hate those birds. Yeah, hadida. And when I first arrived in South Africa and I heard it, I jumped out of bed. I was like, what's going on? I really thought there is a child screaming or a goat. When they said it's a bird, I did not believe it. I was like, I need to see it, I need to see it doing that thing so I can believe it's a bird. Yeah, Hadida.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I love it. I love that nature kind of environment. And I remember yesterday when I was on a hike. I was on a hike yesterday, a very simple one. It was actually a repeat for me, but a different company. So I wanted really to go out. I don't repeat hikes, but I really wanted to go out and be in nature and rejuvenate, because I knew I would have a bad week without doing that. And just being in a social space, because I don't have that tendency, and meet other different people, have conversations. And I really loved yesterday's. And one thing that they went around, they had an educational theme. Okay, it was actually a love theme for this month, I hear, but they had an educational theme for the hike. So we just got somewhere, because it was a short hike. We got somewhere and sat there and in a circle, and people started sharing the experiences while hiking, what you should do. People talking about shoes, people talking about, I don't know, bras, people talking about periods, people talking about capes, people talking about what do you call this? Bladders, water bladders, all these things. People are talking about different things that they've learned. Others were beginners, and they were told they have to say something, even if it's their first day, like what they've learned. Even if it's a repetition, you're just hearing that from someone who's just awesome. So when it came to me, I was one of the last people. I was actually the second last person who said. So you can imagine, we are like, I don't know, more than 40 people. And you have nothing left to say, and it was not like my first hike for me, so I had a lot to say. But when everybody had said everything, I just said, and this is really something I really meant, that I love when I go on in the nature, my senses are up. I look around and I appreciate what is just the tiniest of things, the most beautiful things. I notice my eyes are so sensitive of everything, and just loving that moment, just being in that moment and not thinking about anything else. My smells, my nose is so up. My sense of smell, I can smell everything. I can smell the smell of the trees. Like yesterday, it was more of a tree. It's like forest bathing. So you smell every single tree, how different it is, because there are sections. It's more planted. There's a section for more planted trees, because it's near to a research station for forestry. So there are these different trees, and you go to this other section, the smell is a bit different. Then the ears listening around you, you hear the birds, you hear when someone is stepping on the ground, and when you get to the bamboo, there's this different sound. Oh my goodness. And people are like, and before me, someone was talking about bringing a speaker. Okay. Thankfully, there's no speaker that track. But but when I said that, people were like, "Oh, by the way, it's it's nice to leave the noise out and come in and being in a clean.
No, you took me there. Sorry, I was imagining that. I can't wait actually to go for another hike actually. But you must make sure you go in a group. Though I like my own space sometimes. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's what I was telling actually a hiker yesterday, and we shared so much about that. Like, I wish I could do it alone, but now I have to be in a group.
But going alone, it's so nice, because sometimes you'll be thinking and spacing out, and someone will be like, "Hey, look at that," while you're having a moment. But in any way, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I've just realized it recently, and I feel like I've been wasting my time. All this time, but yeah, and the waters as well. Big fan of the beach, Yeah. So I've never been to one as yet. I can't wait. I'm sure it smells nice, right?
Oh my God, waterfall sound
and the smell. Because I heard
the
some
best
women,
sounding
you get
ever.
addicted to the moist the sand or the soil.